It was January of 2010. My grandpa had been fighting cancer for 4 long years, and his condition was getting worse. We all were aware that he was reaching the last of his days, but it never quite hit me. My grandpa was a strong man. He served our country in his younger days and was a major role model in my life. Growing up, my grandpa Dwayne Schuler was the funniest man I knew. He was the type of man who always had a smile on his face, and his smile was contagious. At first, it seemed like nothing had changed when my grandpa found out he had cancer. He was still the happy-go-lucky man as before. Then time changed the man who had the answer to life. It seemed as if overnight, he looked different. Things changed in my grandpa's attitude. He became short-tempered and tired all the time. The chemotherapy made him different. It made his mood different, and it changed his attitude completely. Why did this happen to my grandpa? Why, the man who appeared to be perfect? Months and months of fighting, and it seemed the news would change with each visit. One visit, he was making great progress, and the next, he was given terrible news. I can only imagine the fear and emptiness my grandpa felt inside. He must have felt like a preset alarm clock, knowing his time was short before it runs out. 4 years passed, and he was making progress to a healthy condition. His struggle was no longer new to me. I felt as if he was going to pull through this nightmare. I started to see the old him again. His hair grew back and his smile appeared more. Then January hit. All of a sudden, my grandpa was worse than we had ever seen him before. He was given a week's time. Each day seemed to fade away more and more. It came down to the very last day. My grandpa refused to pass away in a hospital bed. He wanted to be with his family. He couldn't move. He couldn't speak. My grandpa was in a coma, but he could hear. My family and I took turns giving our last words to him. These words I'll never speak to another man. I learned a valuable lesson that day. No matter how healthy you may be, no matter how safe you think you are, you may not be blessed to know your time when you leave this earth. Treat each moment with loved ones like your last, because you never know what your last words will be. My grandpa was strong, and he never gave up the fight.